Welcome to the Future Strong podcast.
Great to be here.
Today we're diving into something really critical. What skills are actually going to matter in the future workforce? And importantly, how does education need to change right now to keep up? Think of this as maybe your shortcut to understanding the big educational shifts coming by 2030.
Yeah, and we're basing this on some solid ground. We've dug into the key insights from the World Economic Forum's or WEF's Future of Jobs Survey 2024. It's quite comprehensive. It projects the skills employers say they'll value most just a few years down the line. Gives us a clear picture.
Right. So our mission today is really to unpack this fundamental shift. We're moving away from, traditional learning.
Rote memorization, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Towards what truly prepares students, and honestly all of us, to, thrive in a future that looks pretty uncertain. And the WEF survey, it has this powerful chart and research that we'll use to guide the discussion. It really lights up where things are changing.
What jumps out immediately from that WEF survey is this really clear signal of a paradigm shift. By 2030, the skills most in demand, they aren't about just knowing facts or doing routine stuff. Instead, the focus pivots pretty sharply towards things like resilience, adaptability, curiosity. And it's not just tech skills broadly, but specifically AI and big data literacy.
Yeah.
That's key.
Meaning less about, say, knowing how to code everything from scratch.
Right. More about understanding how to actually use AI tools, how to interpret the complex data you get, and then make smart decisions based on that.
Yeah, that chart you mentioned really visualizes it well. It shows this deep recalibration. We're moving past just static knowledge. It's about embracing, lifelong learning as a core skill itself. There's a clear move away from just routine processes towards needing, complex analytical thinking and creative solutions, real creativity. And maybe the most interesting part, the emphasis is shifting from just individual tasks to things like collaboration and strong emotional intelligence, very human skills.
Absolutely. If you look at the bigger picture, the chart calls these core skills in 2030. Skills that matter now, but are expected to become way more important. It's actually striking to see originality and initiative ranked even higher than technology, design, and programming.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, it underscores this idea of human-driven innovation working with tech, not just executing technical tasks. And you also see these vital cross-cutting skills, like systems thinking, understanding how all the pieces fit together, and empathy, crucial for teamwork, customer relations, everything.
It is quite striking, isn't it? Seeing curiosity and lifelong learning ranked so high, it completely changes what knowledgeable means. It's less about what you currently know.
And much more about your ability, your capacity to keep learning and adapting constantly.
But, okay, this does raise a question, maybe a slightly provocative one. The WEF report points to these new demands, right?
Yes.
But could you argue that maybe some foundational skills, reading, writing, basic math, are being, underestimated in this forecast?
That's a really important point to clarify. The report isn't saying those skills disappear or become irrelevant. Not at all. It's more about how they're applied. For instance, in a world awash with AI-generated content, strong critical reading is more vital, not less.
To sort fact from fiction, you mean?
Exactly. And analytical writing helps you articulate complex ideas clearly, maybe even frame better prompts for AI. With math, it shifts from maybe rote calculation toward understanding why you're using a certain concept in data analysis.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it really highlights this need for classrooms to shift, move away from just delivering content towards fostering, student agency, give them more control over their learning path, and building self-awareness, understanding their own strengths, maybe their biases, and making learning purposeful, connecting what happens in class to actual real-world problems and impact.
So thinking about the listener, what does this massive shift really mean for you? I think the core takeaway from our discussion today is pretty clear. The future values these dynamic, very human skills, adaptability, creativity, empathy, working together with that tech literacy, especially around AI. It's about being ready to learn, unlearn, and relearn fast.
Which brings us right back to those central questions the source material raises. Are our classrooms actually cultivating these skills right now? And are the tests, the assessments we use really measuring what's going to matter most? Because the goal here, as the research points out, isn't just about surviving the future job market. It's about enabling people to truly flourish.
Right. And here's something really interesting to chew on as we wrap up. Given that the WEF projects even foundational skills, reading, writing, math, will be, quote, out of focus in terms of employers needing more of them by 2030, what does that imply for your own continuous learning?
It's a big question.
Yeah, and maybe even bigger. What does it mean for how we as a society prepare the next generation, not just for jobs, but to be curious, adaptable, and, well, humane beings in this rapidly changing world? Something to think about.